Bathurst 1000 is a staple on Motors TV. But this year, the V8 Supercar headline race redefined the word excitement as it came down to a sprint between Triple Eight duo Craig Lowndes and upstarts Stephen Johnson and Will Davison. Catch the action this Wednesday, December the 26th from 9 p.m.
One of the most popular one-mate championships in the UK is the Texaco Havoline Ginetta Championship, and it kicks off here at Alton Park this weekend with a huge entry, a qualifying race, 2 championship rounds coming up, and the company going from strength to strength under the ownership now of Lawrence Tomlinson.
Well, the grids are much bigger for this year. We had to run 2 qualifying races and a final race coming up. The whole series is subscribed for 2007, and it's fantastic to see British motorsport with full grids again.
We've already had a qualification race that's determined who goes through to the back of the grid for this main race. But Ben Elliott is the man on pole position, and alongside him is a returning former champion, and that is Matt Nicol-Jones. It's going to be a 25-minute race on a now greasy circuit, but it's a full grid, and this should be another cracking race at Alton Park. Lights are red. When the lights go out, they'll be away now. Who makes the best start then? A good getaway made by Ben Elliott. Matt Nicol-Jones then on the outside of the front row tries to outdrag him as they go down towards Old Hall for the first time. The pair of them side by side into the braking area. The tighter line claimed by Ben Elliott, so he leads then as they go around Old Hall for the first time and now accelerate down towards Cascades. The qualification race was fairly lively. Just wait and see what happens now. This is for points. This is really important for drivers. And Matt Nicol-Jones makes his bid on the inside at Cascades and goes through. Matt Nicol-Jones grabs the lead as we're on board now with Max Henderson turning his way through Cascades. There's mayhem ahead. Look, cars to the left, cars to the right. Some on the grass, some facing the wrong way. Frank Ruffle is one of them in the Will Hoy Scholarship car number 66 that's on the grass, clambering out of his car. Looks like being Christian Dick, who was on the 3rd row of the grid. So he's a retirement already, and there were certainly a few more involved in all of that as well. Race leader Matt Nicol-Jones ahead of Ben Elliott. Then in 3rd place is Joe Osborne. They turn their way through Druids. It's Daniel Ladderman in 4th place as they all file their way through another slippery corner. And somebody off. You can hear the gravel as the car rattles through it. In fact, there are 3 off. 1 spun, 2 go through the gravel, 3 go through the gravel. Yellow flags being waved. There's mayhem at Druids now, as much as there is elsewhere around the lap. Down through Lodge Corner then. Red flags fly for the 2nd time today in the context of Ginetta racing. Another race stoppage then. We're about to go racing without Mick Ralph, Frank Ruffle or Christian Dick. They're the non-starters. Everybody away cleanly. 2nd time of asking with a good start, indeed a better start this time made by Matt Nicol-Jones, because now he's able to assume the lead going in towards Old Hall. Ben Elliott tucks in behind him in 2nd place. Joe Osborne 3rd. And hopefully this time a little bit more caution may well be evinced from some of the drivers. Down towards Cascades they go for the first time. It's a huge field of Ginettas, as we've been saying this weekend, which is great to see the category being so popular, as Matt Nicol-Jones goes left at Cascades and then will accelerate along Lakeside Straight for the first time. Matt Nicol-Jones leads, but for my money, Ben Elliott is coming back at him now. Except that Ben Elliott gets all crossed up there, coming out of Knickerbrook, and that puts Joe Osborne up alongside him. He's going to go through, yes! Just as Ben Elliott was mounting his attack for 2nd place, so he got it wrong. Just caught sight of the car getting sideways, coming back into the picture, and so Ben Elliott has chucked away 2nd place. He's down to 3rd. He's got work to do now. Further up the road, Jonathan Cook doing his level best there in the all-yellow car to fend off Richard Austin. Richard Austin, remember, earlier on was busy battling with Ross Edwards. Now he's having a go at another of the ex-Radical racers. He has a go on the inside. There's contact. There was never a gap there, and Richard Austin tapped John Cook sideways and into the gravel bed. John Cook knows his race is over, and really, I don't think you can blame him for that. Richard Austin thought about going for a gap, but it was never there, and in those slippery conditions, he couldn't back out of it. A gentle tag on the back of John Cook's car puts him into the gravel. It's going to be a win, though, seemingly, for former champion, the 2005 champion, Matt Nicol-Jones, He won the non-championship races at the DTM event at Brands Hatch last year when the Ginetta supported the German touring cars, but it looks like he's going to open his 2007 account with a win. Through he comes, out of dear lead. It is going to be a win for MNJ. Matt Nicol-Jones wins then. In second place, it's Joe Osborne, and third across the line goes to Ben Elliott. And out of the results is Ben Elliott. He had committed a brake infringement, so he's excluded, and Laddimon gets third.
That was hard work. That was very hard work, but they kept me on my toes, and it all went to plan. Very slippery, and I really enjoyed that. It was great fun, really great fun.
Welcome to Brands Hatch for rounds 3 and 4 of the Texaco Havoline Ginetta Championship. And this is the real jewel in the crown of the season for the Ginetta drivers. The first of two 25-minute races about to get underway. Green flag waved at the back of the grid. That proves everybody's in the right place. And we're about then to go racing. The drivers look towards the lighting gantry. Lights will go red. Engine notes rise when the lights go out. The second championship race of the year is underway now. Good start made really by Matt Nicol-Jones from the outside of the front row. Ben Elliott tries to stick his nose up the inside as they power their way down towards Paddock Hill Bend for the first time. Great overhead view as the cars turn their way through Paddock. They drop downhill and climb up towards Druids, but it's Matt Nicol-Jones leading there. Ben Elliott goes second, and it looks like Daniel Laddimon is third as they dive up towards Druids for the first time. Fourth at the moment looks like being Joe Osborne. You're on board with Gavin Mitchell. Heading now down towards Clark Curve. Challenge on for second place now, look, because with Ben Elliott being delayed, so Joe Osborne comes up to look on the outside. Is he going to be able to do it? He's going to try, but it doesn't quite work for him. Spencer McCarthy is next as they make their way now up past the pits. On board with Daniel Laddimon. He goes up into fourth place at the expense of McCarthy, but while all these battles are going on, the race leader, Matt Nicol-Jones, is just getting away a bit. Laddimon goes third, look, diving into Paddock. Ahead of him, Elliott launches himself over the curb and spins, gets it sideways, slides backwards towards the gravel, and now he's got to sit there and hope nobody clobbers him. Richard Austin, then Mark Warnier, then Gavin Mitchell, and the three behind him. Mitchell attacking the car of the jeweller. Mark Warnier as they went around Druids, up the inside, going into Grand Hill Bend. There, look, is Richard Austin. Clips the curb, goes a little bit wide. Mark Warnier may now be able to make a move. Yes, he dives to the inside, heading along Cooper Straight. Gavin Mitchell there trying to join in the party as well. Little tap in the tail, clips Mark Warnier, drops it down a gear, goes left at Surtees. Mitchell sideways, he's off the road, he's heading for the gravel. Oh no! Gavin Mitchell is in the gravel, and that, I'm afraid, was all triggered by him just glancing the back of Mark Warnier's car. So down he comes towards Clark Curve, and once he managed to get that lead, it's been pretty much plain sailing for him ever since. Matt Nicol-Jones making his way now up towards the start and finish line. The checkered flag is going to be ready for him this time. Matt Nicol-Jones wins round 3 of the Texaco Havoline Ginetta Championship. In second place across the line is going to be Daniel Laddimon, and Joe Osborne comes home for third, does he? He does, but only just, because Ben Elliott was right with him as they came across the line, almost side by side, those two, just thousandths of a second separating them as they virtually dead heated past the pits. Fifth goes the way of Richard Austin, Mark Warnier finishing 6th. Behind them, Julian Barrett coming home 7th, and Spencer McCarthy 8th. But 2.93 seconds, Matt Nicol-Jones winning margin.
First 2 laps I had Ben all over me. Figured I had to back him up into some people behind, make him fight and try and get a break. But I see he had a little bit of a spin on the way up, had it, which got me the break. And I set about doing about 5 quick laps, try and get extend that lead, and then cruise on to the finish, trying to save the tyres for next race.
25 minutes of racing in front of a huge A1 GP crowd is about to get underway. Lights are red. When the lights go out, we're going to be in business now. Who makes the best start then? Ben Elliott on pole, gets away slightly better this time, but again Matt Nicol-Jones on the outside tries to brave it out with him. You're looking at Gavin Mitchell's view heading down towards Paddock for the first time. Takes a little bit of the dirt in, then as he hugs the inside line through the corner, is Matt Nicol-Jones leading, Ben Elliott second, Joe Osborne third, and Daniel Laddimon fourth. Down through Hawthorns they go. The race leader, Matt Nicol-Jones, at the moment is not really escaping. Far from it, in fact. He's got the white helmeted Ben Elliott looking for a way past him. This is the right-hander of Westfield. Matt Nicol-Jones a bit slow. Round the outside of him goes Elliott, round the outside of both of them. Tries to go Joe Osborne. Laddimon nips up the inside also. Joining in is Spencer McCarthy. There's been a real shuffle in the leading 6 cars there. The one who's lost out most, I think, is Joe Osborne. Matt Nicol-Jones leading. Laddimon goes second. McCarthy third. Elliott fourth and fifth now, look. Joe Osborne. Behind them, there's Johnny Hyde and Christian Dick battling amongst themselves as well as the leaders come then now down towards Clark Curve. Diving up the inside to go second is Spencer McCarthy. Daniel Ladiman tries to stay on the outside line all the way through the corner. Now Ben Elliott tries to join in as well. The other black car is that of Joe Osborne. They're 3 abreast. They're trying to be 4 wide as they come over the line. Ben Elliott's got the pace, I think, in a straight line. Yes, he has. He goes through on the outside, although Daniel Ladiman on the inside tries to break as late as he possibly can. Ladiman in the blue car nips up the inside once again. Goes second, or does he? Joe Osborne tries to squeeze through. They're 3 wide coming up towards Druids. In the middle is Ladiman. He defends, he turns into the corner, he hangs on to second place. Good bit of driving that, but in 3rd place now Ben Elliott. 4th it's Joe Osborne. Somebody's gone way off there at paddock into the gravel. And that, I'm afraid, is 93 Gary Sims going no further. Onto the Grand Prix circuit, a 25-minute race. Here's a replay, though, of how Ben Elliott got the lead. Leaves his braking as late as he dares. Matt Nicol-Jones tries to turn in, and Ben says, I'm coming through, you make your own arrangements. The leaders are side by side again, this time coming into Hawthorns. Around the outside goes Matt Nicol-Jones, they touch, they spin! Off goes Nicol-Jones through the gravel. Off as well goes Ben Elliott, who's probably been able to get enough momentum to go through the gravel. Yes, he has. Matt Nicol-Jones is in the gravel and out of the race. And Ben Elliott turning his way then now on towards Stirling's. Well, here in the meantime is a replay. Matt Nicol-Jones trying to go around the outside. Ben Elliott was on the inside, they touch. Matt Nicol-Jones spins. Ben Elliott with enough momentum goes straight through the gravel and is able to rejoin. And Matt Nicol-Jones, disappointed to say the least, takes off his helmet, he's out of the race. And there in the gravel at Stirling's is Ben Elliott. 2 corners later, he's chucked himself off. Ben Elliott then is out of the race. We've got cars littering the circuit, the red lights come on. Daniel Ladiman comes through as the race leader. Now, on the count back, it would be Ben Elliott and Matt Nicol-Jones ahead of him, but if you're the cause of a red flag, you don't, or shouldn't, stay in the results. And so, Daniel Ladiman wins by half a second from Joe Osborne, and Christian Dick comes home 3rd. What a race!
Oh, ecstatic. I think it's maybe a little bit controversial on the result overall. Ben pulled a pretty daring move going on the mat, but yeah, we'll just have to wait and see after the race. You know, after the duration is finished, in which you can put a protest, see what Matt does. But no, just really pleased with the result.
Sky Broadband is here. To get the most out of Sky with Sky Broadband, visit sky.com/broadband.
Ever feel like taking greater control of your money? With a Tuxedo eCount and MasterCard prepaid card, there are no obstacles or complicated questions. You can simply top up as you go. Enjoy the freedom to spend, share and receive money in the UK and worldwide. You can even shop online and get your cash from ATMs. It's easy to manage your money with a Tuxedo eCount and MasterCard prepaid card. Call free 0800 787 9898 to get yours now. That's 0800 787 9898 or go online.
Peugeot 308 HDI diesel with CO2 emissions from 120 grams per kilometre. Peugeot, the drive of your life.
May 1928, the Flying Scotsman makes its first non-stop journey from London to Edinburgh. Week by week, use easy-to-follow step-by-step instructions to assemble this detailed model made from high-quality materials. Relive the legend and build the Flying Scotsman. Part 1, your DVD and model components only 50p.
Quit smoking, and this is what you're up against. Smoking increases the number of receptors in your brain that thrive on nicotine. Take their supply away, they go mad. They won't let you break the habit without a fight. Nicotine reduces cravings because it contains therapeutic nicotine, so you can wean the beasts off gradually and give your willpower a fighting chance to do the rest. Tame the beasts and quit. with nicotine.
Welcome to Brands Hatch. It's round 7 and 8 of the Texaco Havoline Ginetta Championship. Last time out at Snetterton, it was all action. It began with a bang at the first corner, a number of drivers getting involved with battered Ginettas littering the circuit. We had a safety car situation. When the race got back underway, there was contact. Daniel Ladderman and Matt Nicol-Jones falling foul of one another. Matt Nicol-Jones having his big spin. And then further problems at the end of the race for Steve Rigby and for Miles Maserati. That brought out the red flag. On a countback, it was a win for Joe Osborne, and that puts him into the lead of the championship now. 2 points up on Daniel Ladderman, with Matt Nicol-Jones third ahead of Julian Barrett, and then Ben Elliott. The race about to get underway. Matt Nicol-Jones and Spencer McCarthy share the front row. Out go the lights, and a good getaway by Ben Elliott's black car from the second row. And a good start as well by Rob Austin, number 15, the white car on the inside line there. Look, taking over this weekend from his father, Richard, and Rob Austin making a good getaway as they turn through paddock for the first time. Matt Nicol-Jones leading, though. Spencer McCarthy, it is, in second place, up towards Druids on lap number 1. Rob Austin is third, and everybody else trying to be fourth. On board with Christian Dick, the red and gold car of Frank Raffel ahead of him. Frank Raffel qualified well up, fourth on the grid, going really well here. Down towards Graham Hill Bend for the first time is Matt Nicol-Jones in the lead. Spencer McCarthy chasing after him, and then in third place, it's Rob Austin in fourth as they head towards Surtees. Looks like being Joe Osborne. Ben Elliott on the move as there. Christian Dick tries to keep Daniel Ladderman at bay. Julian Barrett still attacks to try and get his place back from Mark Warnier. Barrett back through on the inside. Look at the way that Christian Dick in the red car is going now. Is Christian going to be able to find a way through? He tries, but he's run out of road, really. Barrett then staying ahead of Warnier. Christian Dick trying to urge the red Speedworks car up on the inside. Christian Dick, former Eurocar racer, Mazda MX-5 racer, Escort XR 3i racer, and now not just a Ginetta racer, but also team owner as well. Lots of the cars on the grid run by his Speedworks team, and he sprints up towards Surtees there, still trying to find a way past Mark Warnier. Through Surtees they go, and now onto the Grand Prix part of the circuit. Matt Nicol-Jones, the race leader, about to do some lappery as well, because the newcomer to the championship, Edwina Graham, 60-year-old racing grandmother, is soon to be lapped. Joe Osborne goes through and now powers on towards Westfield. Johnny Hyde is ahead of him. Osborne, therefore, falling down the order. Not great for him in the championship, this. And there's drama there. That's Julian Barrett upside down. And there are more cars involved. Whatever has happened has been a big, big accident. Julian Barrett's car upside down in the gravel. Mark Warnier is off. And I think that's Edwina Graham's car as well, with its back nearest to ours. Julian Barrett is okay. Red flags, understandably, to stop the race. And that was a mighty accident up at Westfield. The result declared in favour of Matt Nicol-Jones, the winner, ahead of Spencer McCarthy, his best of the year. Ben Elliott third ahead of Rob Austin, and Joe Osborne only sixth. Matt Nicol-Jones, race 1 winner, is on pole for race 2 that gets underway now. Frank Raffel with him on the front of the grid as the cars blast away from the line. And a good start made by Raffel then on the outside of row 1. Frank Raffel is going to lead then. Matt Nicol-Jones tucks in behind him on board here with Christian Dick turning through paddock. Big, big spin in the background. That's Gavin Mitchell who's got it wrong. And Gavin Mitchell, former champion, is beached in the gravel bed. That's his race at a very early end. It's been a miserable season for Gavin. Through Clark Curve they come, accelerating now. Through the right-hander, up towards the line. And this is where Rob Austin may make another move. He's in the wheel track. He's going to get a toe over the line. Now, which way does he go into paddock? Inside or outside? Ben Elliott covers the inside line. Rob's white car goes to the outside line there, but he's not got his nose level. Ben Elliott hangs on to the place. Rob Austin tries to touch the line, and there's contact. He turns Elliott round there. Big, big moment for Ben Elliott. Round he goes. And Ben Elliott's car sitting in the middle of the road, facing the wrong way. He's going to be able to rejoin. Well, let's see if we get a replay of that. It certainly looked as though there was contact between them as they came diving down through Paddock Hill. Rob Austin has benefited. He's got the place. Matt Nicol-Jones, however, is set for a win. This is going to make it win number 5 of the season as Matt Nicol-Jones now comes up to take the checkered flag. Victory in round 8 of the Texaco Havoline Ginetta Championship goes to Matt Nicol-Jones, and that a very comfortable race win indeed. A race win, pole position and the fastest lap. Rob Austin second, Frank Raffle third, ahead of Andrew Smith going well, Joe Osborne fifth and Mark Warnier sixth, ahead of Latimer and Dick. But a great weekend for Matt Nicol-Jones.
I love practice, actually, PC. I always have, to be fair. I've been here a couple of times, I know the circuit quite well. So it gave me the opportunity to just concentrate solely on the car. Right from the word go this weekend, and the car has been absolutely excellent. I couldn't fault it, it's great.
Welcome to Thruxton for the Texaco Havoline Ginetta Championship. The two planned races for here joined by one carried over from Alton Park, and that gives us 3 Ginetta races over the course of the weekend. And a whole load of action. Matt Nicol-Jones heads the championship, and he was victorious last time out at Silverstone. In recent races, the former champion has very much become the benchmark driver, and expect him to go well here. He heads the title race then, 52 points up on Joe Osborne, with Daniel Latimer third, Ben Elliott fourth ahead of Christian Dick, and Andrew Smith rounding out the top 6. The first race of the weekend was a very lively one. It included Matt Nicol-Jones having to work his way up from 26th on the grid. He had a problem in qualifying with the ECU. They changed that, but with the grids being based on drivers' best and second best qualifying times, it means that for the 2 Thruxton rounds, as it were, he's got an awful lot of work to do. At the front of the field, though, the usual suspects were involved in the action. The likes of Ben Elliott, Rob Austin, Daniel Latimer, and it was Ladders leading into the chicane on one lap until he explored all of the curb. That gave him a slightly bigger advantage over Rob Austin, but Austin made his move on the outside coming over the line, and that got the two side by side up towards Allard as Johnny Hyde was a retirement. But on the last lap, though, Matt Nicol-Jones from 26th tried to go around the outside of Rob Austin, who did a Ladders straight line the chicane, and that made sure that Rob Austin came through to score victory. Matt Nicol-Jones second across the line, Ladders was third, Ben Elliott fourth ahead of Spencer McCarthy and Christian Dick, with Joe Osborne seventh and Julian Barrett having one of his better races of the year to come home in 8th place. This grid based on a driver's second best qualifying time, and that means that Matt Nicol-Jones will start 27th this time as the lights go out. Away they go, better start by Austin than by Dan Latimer, and as they make their way up towards Allard for the first time, Ladders is going to have to tuck in behind him. But now we'll see on the run up towards the complex whether or not the inside line for the right-hander of Allard is going to help him at all. They go to the left-hander at green side by side, and now to the complex. Latimer in the blue car on the inside. On the outside line is Rob Austin, who turns in first. They're still side-by-siders arriving backwards there with a big problem, 94 going off the road. That is Neil Merry, who's going to try to rejoin. He should be able to get back into the race as Austin leads. Latimer is in second. Everybody else pouring their way through. Mark Warnier going wide onto the dirt there. The race leaders then turn through Campbell, Cobb and then Seagrave. Mark Warnier going through, but look at 62, that's Matt Nicol-Jones already in midfield from 27th on the grid, and Joe Osborne, who led the championship earlier on in the season, getting out of the car, that's him done. Past the pits goes Rob Austin, the race leader, but Matt Nicol-Jones is right with him. From 27th on the grid, he now leads. Matt Nicol-Jones goes through on the inside, fantastic drive this. Matt Nicol-Jones goes through then to grab the advantage. Down to second, slips Rob Austin, but don't think this race is over yet. Far from it, Rob Austin is fighting back now. Daniel Latimer is still in touch, so is McCarthy, and this is Rob Austin's view as Matt Nicol-Jones goes back ahead of him. Rob Austin grabs a gear. He will go left in a moment through Noble. And he sits as close as he possibly can to Matt Nicol-Jones. Eventually he has to dodge out of the slipstream there and make his move up on the inside, and he's done it, he's gone through. Rob Austin retakes the lead. Fantastic race this. There are 5 of them in that leading group of cars. Austin, Matt Nicol-Jones, Latimer, McCarthy and then Raffle. Matt Nicol-Jones again goes through, does he on the inside? Yes he does, he's back into the lead. Matt Nicol-Jones retakes the advantage ahead of Austin. Nicol-Jones with a wheel on the dirt, that compromises his run slightly. Look at Spencer McCarthy going really well here as well. Now you decide for yourself what that means from Rob Austin. I think it means work with me here, let's try and pull away from the rest. Down they come into the chicane, but Rob Austin it is that leads. Matt Nicol-Jones is second, and there's contact there as McCarthy and Latimer collide. Spencer McCarthy gets caught up. Third over the line now is Christian Dick, and fourth is Daniel Latimer's rather battle-scarred car. Spencer McCarthy going through 5th. Ben Elliott's the one that's dropped back 6th, and then also Frank Raffle falling down the order as well. Andrew Smith is next, and as they're coming together there, look, somebody off, that's bodywork lying in the road. And a big, big moment up at the complex. That's Daniel Ladderman, who's just about caught it. And there's contact. Matt Nicol-Jones taps him, and round goes Rob Austin. Ladderman comes up alongside Nicol-Jones as Rob Austin sorts himself out, and on this, the last lap of the race, that is going to drop him a long, long way down the order as he recovers. The leaders are side by side, and Ladderman got caught up in that as well because he's got damage on the front of the car. Matt Nicol-Jones leads. Christian Dick round the outside of him into the chicane. The red car is Dick, but Matt Nicol-Jones' black and white car started 27th. It comes home first with side by side Ladderman and Dick overlapping. It's going to be a virtual dead heat as they go over the line. Daniel Ladderman punches the air, and he's right to do so because he gets the place by 16 thousandths of a second. Matt Nicol-Jones the winner then. Dan Ladderman second, just ahead of Christian Dick. Spencer McCarthy fourth, and Frank Raffle comes home in fifth. So the top step of the podium, Matt Nicol-Jones, Daniel Ladderman in the white overalls, the blue overalls, Christian Dick, the man that finished third. And there was another race at Thruxton, that being the one carried over from Alton Park. The grid based on what had happened there. In other words, Ben Elliott starting on pole position, Matt Nicol-Jones alongside him. Now, the drivers that weren't at Alton, but were at Thruxton, were allowed to take part as long as they started 15 seconds after everybody else. Amongst them, Rob Austin. But it wouldn't be long before Austin was able to work his way up through the field, and he would become a factor in the leading battle as well. There was a big accident at Allard that involved Andrew Smith. He got caught up with Neil Merrick. Quite a bit of damage done to Smith's car. He was OK, but he was going no further. And then there was more drama down at the chicane. Spencer McCarthy was involved with Daniel Ladderman. Ladderman had a spin, McCarthy had rear damage, and Ladderman lost a load of places. He would ultimately end up in 10th by the end of the race. But at the head of the field, Rob Austin, despite that 15-second handicap, was in the lead. Ben Elliott with him in second place. And as they carried on squabbling, they let Matt Nicol-Jones get back with them and get past them. Matt Nicol-Jones on target for a 7th win of the season. He came across the line victorious, yet another win. And in this race, he was thinking about the points.
Ideally, I don't want to be doing the last round. I want to win it before the last round. And what a great weekend, despite obviously bad qualifying. So yeah, I'm speechless.
More sideways ice racing action comes your way when Motors TV heads to the French ski resort of Alpe d'Huez for the third meeting of the Trophy Andros. Alain Prost and Toyota teammate Olivier Panis will lead a list of contenders when the action gets underway on Thursday, December the 27th from 6 p.m. The French ski resort will be the stage for the next round of two-wheel ice racing action in the Pilot Bike Series. No matter the temperatures, no matter the condition of the track, these brave riders will be giving it their all this Thursday, December the 27th from 7:30 in the evening.
Ever feel like taking greater control of your money? With a Tuxedo eCount and MasterCard prepaid card, there are no obstacles or complicated questions. You can simply top up as you go. Enjoy the freedom to spend, share and receive money in the UK and worldwide. You can even shop online and get your cash from ATMs. It's easy to manage your money with a Tuxedo eCount and MasterCard prepaid card. Call free 0800 787 9898 to get yours now. That's 0800 787 9898 or go online.
May 1928, the Flying Scotsman makes its first non-stop journey from London to Edinburgh. Week by week, use easy-to-follow step-by-step instructions to assemble this detailed model made from high-quality materials. Relive the legend and build the Flying Scotsman. Part 1, your DVD and model components only 50p.
Sometimes when the good and bad things come at the same time, you need Payday Now. So call 0871 550 0048 or visit paydaynow.co.uk.
Brian was under attack from a very nasty cold. It started with a battalion of runny noses. Later came a headachy army, and on the left flank, regiments of chesty coughs and sore throats. Then came the turning point. Instead of paracetamol, Brian had taken Beecham's All-in-One. With 3 times more active ingredients, it fights more symptoms. And it wasn't long before Brian was winning. Fight back with Beecham's All-in-One.
Good things should never end. That's why at Orange we now offer unlimited free text to any network at any time with Orange Pay As You Go.
to the Rockingham Motor Speedway for rounds 15 and 16 of this year's Texaco Havoline Ginetta Championship. And it's a weekend that could give the title to Matt Nicol-Jones, a former champion, although he had a fairly lean time at Croft recently. 2 race wins there went the way of Ben Elliott, and that means that Matt Nicol-Jones now needs to consolidate his place within the championship, but he could sew the title up this weekend. Daniel Ladderman is second, ahead of Ben Elliott. Joe Osborne third, ahead of Christian Dick and Paul Moden, with Frank Raffles 7th and Spencer McCarthy in 8th. And it's Spencer McCarthy who is on pole position then as the cars come to the line for the first of the 2 races here. 25 minutes duration for each of them, and that is Dan Ladderman with problems. Look, on the warming up lap, something has broken. He helps the marshal push the car off the track, but Ladders, I'm afraid, is going nowhere. Matt Nicol-Jones lining up second on the grid. And here at Rockingham, we are about to go racing then. 25 minutes of action. The lights go red any second. As soon as the lights go out, then we're going to be in business. Who's going to make the best start as the lights go out now? A good getaway is made by Matt Nicol-Jones. Everybody cleanly away from the line then, including Frank Raffle making places. Down towards turn 1 they go. This configuration of the Rockingham circuit takes them through the banked left-hander at turn 1 and then to the hairpin left at Dean. And that then in turn brings them onto the infield. It's a very wide part of the circuit, this. They're about to go left and drop onto the infield with, on the inside line there, Rob Austin challenging. He's alongside Spencer McCarthy. Can he find a way through into the lead as everybody else funnels their way to the corner? Rob Austin still alongside Spencer McCarthy now as they come up towards the right-hander of Yentwood. McCarthy leading. Matt Nicol-Jones on the inside, tries to go second ahead of Austin. Along the short straight up towards Chapman Curve, McCarthy leading Nicol-Jones. Rob Austin on the inside, but MNJ goes through. Matt Nicol-Jones grabs the lead only briefly though. Spencer McCarthy, former MG champion, comes back at him on the inside then, and Spencer McCarthy goes second in the end. He did briefly lead, but McCarthy then slips back behind Matt Nicol-Jones as there Joe Osborne comes up on the inside of Rob Austin. They're making their way then up towards the Tarzan hairpin for the first time. So into the braking area, Joe Osborne goes to the inside there and he hits the back of Austin's car and turns him around. Rob Austin goes off at very high speed, clatters the guardrail, looks across to see who hit him. And there's the answer, Joe Osborne. Early season, he was the championship leader, but Joe Osborne, I'm afraid, is going no further in this race. And that contact there has put the pair of them out of the race as Julian Barrett, number 3, locks up. David Jackson's ahead of him. And Joe Osborne knows it was his mistake. Very disappointed with that, clambers out of the car. Here are the leaders though. McCarthy ahead of Matt Nicol-Jones who goes through. Is he going to understeer himself into the corner or can he take a tidy line? He takes a tidy line and that therefore secures the lead for him now. Spencer McCarthy is right on his tail. Now normally, once Matt Nicol-Jones hits the front, he starts to pull away. Can Spencer McCarthy stop him from doing that? Christian Dick, another driver there you can see in the red Speedworks car. It's his team indeed, Speedworks. Christian Dick's got better and better as the year has gone on. There's Matt Nicol-Jones still leading the race and looking possibly now for another win, although he gets a little bit crossed up there. Just glances off the curb, fights for control, heading up towards Gracelands now through the left-hander, and then onto that short straight that will take them down to the Tarzan hairpin. Here they come. Spencer McCarthy is still very much in touch as far as the race leader is concerned. They brake, they set the car up for the hairpin, and now they turn sharp right. Matt Nicol-Jones, a graduate of the BRDC Single-Seater Championship, goes up now towards Brook. Spencer McCarthy tucked up behind him, but what is not happening for the moment is Nicol-Jones pulling away. In other words, he's still under pressure. Spencer McCarthy stays there on the tail as they turn their way through Brook now. They're about to come up over the start and finish line. That's McCarthy in second place, working hard behind the wheel. Matt Nicol-Jones leads as they go past the pits now. 2 off there. Look, we've had a big moment coming through Gracelands. One on the grass on the inside of the circuit, trying to rejoin. One stuck on the outside of the road. I think that could be Miles Maserati on the outside, and rejoining there, 51, Steve Williams. Spencer McCarthy for the final time goes up towards the Dean hairpin. He looks on the outside. Can he go all the way around the outside? If not, can he duck up the inside coming through the corner? Matt Nicol-Jones claims the lead. Spencer McCarthy is right on his tail now. Down towards the right-hander of Yentwood they come. There you can see McCarthy having a look on the outside as they get to the braking area, but that won't work for him. That safety car has bunched everybody up once again, and as McCarthy challenges for the lead, Ben Elliott's right there as well. McCarthy tries to go around the outside at Chapman Curve now. Is he going to be able to make it stick as they go left? Yes, he does. He's through on the inside. Spencer McCarthy takes back the lead. Matt Nicol-Jones tries to line himself up for a go as well as they have this long run through the left-hander up towards Graceland. Ben Elliott now attacking as well. They're almost overlapping there, the three race leaders. Matt Nicol-Jones wants to attack for the lead, but he's also now having to defend that second place. Into the braking area for the Tarzan hairpin. We've got 2 corners to go. McCarthy leads, Matt Nicol-Jones second, and Spencer McCarthy looks as though he could be on target for a first win. Matt Nicol-Jones, though, looks like he's on target for the championship. Here they come. Ben Elliott sprints up alongside Nicol-Jones in the black and white car, but Matt's got the inside line for Brook. Checkered flag at the ready this time, and Spencer McCarthy looks as though he's done enough to claim a first win in the Texaco Havoline Ginetta Championship. Matt Nicol-Jones, however, for second in the race, is going to claim the title. There are going to be 2 drivers with lots to celebrate here over the line now. Spencer McCarthy wins the race, Matt Nicol-Jones wins the championship, and Ben Elliott rounds out the drivers on the podium. A great drive by Spencer McCarthy. Matt Nicol-Jones keeps his head and does everything right to take the title. Ben Elliott will join them on the podium, with Christian Dick 4th ahead of Frank Raffle and Andrew Smith 6th.
That's one for me. Woo! Yeah, no, that was brilliant. That was one of those waiting games that I just played and ended up sort of, you know, just nailing it on the last lap. If I do say so myself, I thought it was quite a good move. I was round the outside of Matt, round one of the quick ones round the back there, and it was literally a fag packet between us. And I must admit, over the year, I've built up quite a bit of trust with Matt. We can race quite close to each other, and I didn't have any worries there. And we just sort of had the inside for the next corner. So once I had it at that point, I knew that he probably couldn't get me before the line. So I was, I was singing from that point.
I'm quite keen to get back and get on the calculator, but I'm 99% sure that's the championship done. And all I wanted first and second, got my second, and now I can go out this afternoon and be a bit more relaxed and have some fun.
We're about to go racing though, as the lights that are on red go out now. Everybody blasts away from the line, and the better stop possibly to be made by Spencer McCarthy. He's on the inside for turn 1. Matt Nicol-Jones right with him, and there the red and gold car of Frank Raffle makes a good start. Everybody funnels their way through the left-handed turn 1. We're on board now with Frank Raffle. They're on their way up towards the Dean hairpin. To the right is Rob Austin, and the Texaco racer Frank Raffle dives through on the inside then. They're, 3 abreast coming into the hairpin, and there's contact. Richard Sykes charges up the inside, thumps into Rob Austin's car, and that forces Rob onto the oval. He's going to have to do a complete lap, I think, on the banked oval, and then wait to rejoin the pack as the cars now make their way up through Yentwood. Dan Laddiman there going round the outside, and there's a spinner. That's Ben Elliott going the wrong way. Elliott spins. Not a good weekend for the Rockingham instructor, as here, look, Spencer McCarthy is ahead of Matt Nicol-Jones. Frank Raffle's in 3rd place. Everybody else files through except for Elliott. He's out of the car. There you can see Andrew Smith trying to go around the outside of Joe Osborne. Osborne, who switched out of the Formula BMW Championship into Ginetta's this year, has not really been able to maintain the form he showed at the start of the season. Matt Nicol-Jones, though, has got quicker and better as the year has gone on, and that's culminated nice and early in him winning the championship. There are still 2 more races to go at Thruxton, and that's Dan Laddiman with a problem. We saw him having a spin earlier, and Ladders slowly out of the Tarzan hairpin, and he's heading for the paddock by the look of it. That's not the main pit lane, that is the back door, if you like, to the paddock, and so Dan Laddiman looked as though he could be out of the race. Meantime, everybody else turns their way out of Dean, down now towards Yentwood. This is Hampus Ridman's view. Into the braking area for Yentwood. Andrew Smith just up ahead of him. David Jackson there is the next driver in the queue. And this is Ridman's view once more as Smith runs a little bit wide going through Chapman Curve, then they switch into this left-hander. Hampus Ridman, number 16, goes through. And there, for number 25, there is about to be a mechanical warning flag. That's Paul Modem. Now, that meatball flag says there is something mechanically wrong with your car that you may not be aware of. And the report we're getting is that it's some liquid spilling out of Paul Modem's car, so he's going to have to head for the pit lane. Frank Raffle, though, has just lost a place by the look of it. Ahead of him now is Joe Osborne in the Kudos Showers car. And there you can see that not only is Osborne through, but so also is Christian Dick. So Frank Raffle now dropping down the order a little bit. He's got Andrew Smith tucked up behind him. Raffle there sawing away at the wheel. And there is Paul Moden, you can see, coming into the pit lane. So the white car of Paul Moden will come in. The scrutineer wants a look at it. And it really is going to be his decision whether the car is allowed back out again. There into turn 1, you can see the battle going on as Osborne dives up the inside of Christian Dick, and he's got the place. So Joe Osborne goes through, but Christian Dick fights back now. They're going to be overlapping almost up to the Dean hairpin. There's Paul Moden. He's been released by the scrutineer, now having a word with the Rob Austin Racing team. And they get on their hands and knees and peer under the car to see what and where is the spillage. Ridman on the back of Smith here. Smith in turn closing on Dick, Dick closing on Raffle again, and Raffle wants to find a way past Joe Osborne. Turning their way up towards the Dean hairpin comes this fight between Smith and Ridman. The silver car is the Swede, hampers Ridman, and Smith misses his braking point, goes all over the grass, avoids anything solid, and that's a very sideways Richard Sykes getting it all wrong and very nearly clipping the recovering Smith. It was here earlier on, remember, that Sykes got it wrong and thumped into the side of Rob Austin's car. Well, he very nearly made contact there as well with Andrew Smith, but they've all survived it. Turning their way then up now towards the long left-hander that will take them round towards Gracelands. The gap starting to open up just a little bit as we get towards the end of 25 minutes of racing. But Matt Nicol-Jones looks as though he's going to be able to celebrate the championship in style with another race win. Here they come now, up towards the hairpin. Joe Osborne having a much better run in this second race, turning his way through. There is Ridman, number 16, about to accelerate his way now up towards the completion of the lap as Matt Nicol-Jones comes through now. He's going to squeeze one more lap out of the race, I reckon, as he goes over the line. It's 25 minutes of racing. The flag goes out to the winner the first time he crosses the line after 25 minutes have elapsed. And this time around, he will power out of turn 4 to see a checkered flag. And Matt Nicol-Jones in this race underlines exactly why he is the champion. The checkered flag is at the ready for Matt Nicol-Jones to win yet again in the Texaco Havoline Ginetta Championship. He celebrates as he comes over the line to win then, with Spencer McCarthy set for second place and third set to go the way of Rob Austin, as Frank Raffle is still busily determined to keep Christian Dick behind him. Out of turn 4 they come with Hampus Ridman right up alongside Christian Dick. Look at this, they're going to be side by side coming over the line. It's virtually a dead heat between the two of them, but Christian Dick just keeps his nose in front. Tremendously close finish, just 0.04 of a second between those two. So Matt Nicol-Jones, the race winner, Spencer McCarthy second, and Rob Austin comes home for third.
Second this morning was just what I needed to seal the championship, and then the win this afternoon was just the icing on the cake, really. We had the pace in the car all weekend. It was great, and this afternoon the car was just absolutely superb.
Ever feel like taking greater control of your money? With a Tuxedo e-count and MasterCard prepaid card, there are no obstacles or complicated questions. You can simply top up as you go. Enjoy the freedom to spend, share and receive money in the UK and worldwide. You can even shop online and get your cash from ATMs. It's easy to manage your money with a Tuxedo e-count and MasterCard prepaid card. Call free 0800 787 9898 to get yours now. That's 0800 787 9898 or go online.
Motocourse, the world's leading Grand Prix and Superbike annual. How did Rossi lose the championship? Are Casey Stoner and Bridgestone tyres really that good? And what's James Toseland really like? Visit www.motocourse.com.
Quit smoking, and this is what you're up against. Smoking increases the number of receptors in your brain that thrive on nicotine. Take their supply away, they go mad. They won't let you break the habit without a fight. Nicotine reduces cravings because it contains therapeutic nicotine, so you can wean the beasts off gradually and give your willpower a fighting chance to do the rest. Tame the beasts and quit with nicotine.
Sometimes when the good and bad things come at the same time, you need Payday Now. So call 0871 550 0048 or visit paydaynow.co.uk.
Brian was under attack from a very nasty cold. It started with a battalion of runny noses. Later came a headachy army, and on the left flank, regiments of chesty coughs and sore throats. Then came the turning point. Instead of paracetamol, Brian had taken Beecham's All-in-One. With 3 times more active ingredients, it fights more symptoms. And it wasn't long before Brian was winning. Fight back with Beecham's All-in-One.
The Bathurst 1000 is a staple on Motors TV. But this year, the V8 Supercar headline race redefined the word excitement as it came down to a sprint between Triple Eight duo Craig Lowndes and upstarts Stephen Johnson and Will Davison. Catch the action this Wednesday, December the 26th from 9 p.m. Sébastien Bourdais and Robert Doornbos made the headlines with their on-track altercations when the Champ Car Series went to the venerable Mont Tremblant circuit in Canada. The feud between the two has never been more apparent, and you can relive it all here this Thursday, December the 27th from 9 p.m.
Welcome to Thruxton for round 17 and 18 of the Texaco Havoline Ginetta Championship. We're about to get underway then. There's no Matt Jones though. Look, on pole position, he has peeled into the pit lane. He's going to start from there, probably to keep out of everybody's way here. The lights then are red. They will go out in a second. Away they go now. Rob Austin makes the best start in the white car from the outside of the front row. Frank Raffle tucks in behind him as they power their way up towards Allard for the first time. Julian Barrett goes through just ahead there of Richard Sykes. And now they sprint their way around the right-hander and then up towards the complex. Rob Austin it is then in the lead. Frank Raffle, much improved driver as the year has gone on. He lies second, and then Spencer McCarthy on the inside of Christian Dick. Are they all going to safely get their way around the complex this time? Well, so far so good, including 55 there, Linton Stootley, who's been one of the front runners this year in the British Formula Ford Championship, and now turning his attention to sports cars for the first time. The cars accelerating their way up now towards Noble. There, number 10, Johnny Hyde, having a look on the outside to try to gain ground, but Rob Austin leads and already is starting to edge away from the rest of them. Don't, however, think for a moment it's going to stay that way. This one of the best circuits to slipstream on. You're riding with Joe Osborne, the ex-Formula BMW racer, who, of course, was leading the championship early on in the season. He was well up early on, but it's slightly faded for him. See the air getting under the front bodywork there. That's flapping around a little bit as he goes now through Village and on towards Church, and then he'll go left at Brooklands as they go up Woodham Hill towards the chicane. Rob Austin leads. Look at the way, though, now that the race leader is moving the car around, trying to break the toe here. Spencer McCarthy tries the outside line. The XMG racer's going to get the advantage. I think there's contact behind. Look, Christian Dick and Frank Raffle touch, and Raffle spins. They all managed to avoid it, but that was Christian Dick being a little bit optimistic, I think, on the inside there. Frank Raffle continues. That's Lademan going all over the curb you saw, but Rob Austin still trying to break the slipstream as Spencer McCarthy weaves over the line. Third over the line is Joe Osborne. Everybody else now pouring their way through. There is Lademan, and Richard Sykes looks to try to make a move on the inside and gets it all wrong. Far too quick into the corner. Round comes the back. He's off. Does he hit anything solid? He disappears from our shot, and hopefully he will avoid the barrier. If he can get it back onto the circuit, he should be okay, as there Osborne and Christian Dick run together. Turning their way out of Seagrave on towards Noble now. Somebody else in the walls there. That's another of the Speedworks cars. That's Ed Straw, the Autosport journalist. He's back onto the black bit, carries on. That will have cost him a few places, though. Through Church they come. The race leaders then, Rob Austin versus Spencer McCarthy. Because of this battle going on behind, they're still clear. Julian Barrett being pushed down the order. Rob Austin, ex-Formula 3 racer, goes to the outside, goes through, now hits the front as they come into the chicane. Rob Austin goes through then. He's leading this time through. McCarthy's second. And then this great battle for third comes through the chicane now. You've got Christian Dick involved in all of this. There's also James Littlejohn having his first outing in the series. There's Richard Austin going through just ahead of Daniel Lademan. They're both behind Julian Barrett, who's behind Joe Osborne. And Ladders there in the white crash helmet has a look on the inside going up towards Allard, and works. That's Paul Morgan getting it all wrong at the chicane. Round he goes. I think he's avoided everything solid, sorts himself out. Going back in the right direction now, but the Morgan's office furniture car loses a few places. He gets going. Up to the complex now. You can see the way that absolutely charging is Osborne. He wants the place back, but in the background, Matt Jones has just gone ahead of Julian Barrett. The black and white car is that of MNJ, and he really is hustling on. The way that he's going now, I reckon that the podium is a cert, a race win. I still think it's possible. He just picked off both Lademan and Barrett. Matt Jones continues to charge as that, spinning at the complex, and being hit as well, is 54, and that's the car of Michael Ralph. And it was one of the Speedworks cars that hit him, number 91 it was, that bounced off him, David Jackson. Michael Ralph gets himself sorted out, carries on now. He's been in the wars on 1 or 2 occasions this year. On the inside is Rob Austin. Is he going to be able to make a way through? He should be able to here. He's got the better line from the chicane, and Rob Austin also knows how to ride the curbs at the chicane. He goes through. Rob Austin takes back the lead, flicks the car through the chicane, rides the curb quite a bit. And where's Matt Jones? There he is. Look, absolutely charging still. He's in third place, and it's not going to be long before he's with them. Over the line they go, having a look on the inside of the back marker going into Allard is Matt Jones. He's nothing to prove in this. He's won the championship already. Yes, he'd like another race win, but it's not essential. What he's trying to do here, I think, is just prove how much overtaking you can do in these cars. Up through the complex they come. There, look, is 62. Matt Nicol-Jones goes right and then left through the complex. He sprints his way now up towards the left-hander of Noble. Now, as yet, he's not latched onto the tail of those top two, so he's having to make up all of that ground for himself. And, of course, there'll come a point where he will get close enough to then get dragged along by the tow generated by the car ahead of him. There is McCarthy, now second. Rob Austin's ahead. Spencer McCarthy takes a tighter line then, going out of Village up towards Church. That gives him the lead once again, but Matt Nicol-Jones will be with them very soon. Spencer McCarthy goes through and tries to pull away, but Rob Austin will be back in the slipstream any moment. The penultimate round of this year's championship. Next year there's going to be another Ginetta series as well for the new G50, a car that has already been racing in the FIA GT4 championship. And it's a bit of a halfway house in a sense between this category and full-blown GT racing. And there, somebody off at very high speed is Ross Edwards going into the tyres. That's a big impact. Ross Edwards has been in the wars quite a bit. He started his year with an accident at Alton Park. He's had another one here to end the year, sadly. There go the leaders, McCarthy and Austin, and there's more drama at the chicane. 1, 2, 3 of them go off. Now, who's involved in that? Is that the Dick and Little John and Osborne battle? It is. That's Christian Dick sorting himself out. Well, he's already made contact with Frank Raffle at the chicane, remember, on the opening lap. Bits of Ginetta are left behind. Joe Osborne gets back onto the circuit. Before all that happened, I was about to suggest it's going to be interesting to see which drivers from this go on to race the G50s next year. Well, the first thing that's going to be interesting is to see how many get onto the grid for tomorrow's race, because all of a sudden there are quite a few with contact and with damage to sort out. Spencer McCarthy leads Rob Austin. However, Matt Nicol-Jones, as predicted, is getting closer and closer and closer, and that's Christian Dick off again. And that rather looks as though he's got damaged suspension as well as lots of bodywork missing, and Christian Dick may well end up having to park that and be a retirement from the race. Here they come then, now up towards the chicane. On the inside there, about to dive through is Rob Austin once again, and through he goes. He takes the opportunity to nip up the inside, and there in second place, Spencer McCarthy is now going to have to try to attack and defend at the same time, because Matt Nicol-Jones is right there with him. They come across the line, the last lap board is being shown. Now that's because there's a very tight curfew here at Thruxton. Everything has got to be done by 6:30, so it's not quite going to be 25 minutes this race. So we're on the last lap. Rob Austin leads Spencer McCarthy, but McCarthy now has got Matt Nicol-Jones right up behind him. Through the complex they come, through Campbell, then left at Cobb, then right at Seagrave. And Rob Austin now just edging away ever so slightly whilst McCarthy is busy keeping Nicol-Jones at bay, but is that going to remain that way? Up towards the left-hander of Noble. All of a sudden, Rob Austin slows, and 1 or 2 sparks, look, from the front left of the car. We'll try and work out exactly why that is in a moment, but Spencer McCarthy was diving up on the inside as the Speedworks cars go to the complex. There at the back of the field, Edwina Graham. So, race leader Rob Austin looked as though he had a problem, and now look, he's dropped back. Spencer McCarthy leads Matt Nicol-Jones, and Rob Austin is fading as they come up towards the chicane for the last time. Spencer McCarthy is on the inside, but Matt Nicol-Jones goes to the outside. Is he going to be able to win from the pit lane? He gets his nose in front, and yes, Matt Nicol-Jones leads. Rob Austin's got real problems behind, though. Locking up, getting all smoky and slow, but Matt Nicol-Jones comes through ahead of Spencer McCarthy. The checkered flag is at the ready. It's going to be a win for Matt Nicol-Jones, having started in the pit lane. Spencer McCarthy finishes second. Rob Austin will take third, and then behind they're still pouring their way into the chicane. Linton Stootley is on target for fourth in his first Ginetta race ahead of Ben Elliott there, right up onto the curb, and Ben Elliott gets all sideways. Good save that. Sixth behind him is Richard Austin. They come pouring over the line with Julian Barrett seventh, Paul Moden is eighth, Ladders is ninth, and 10th goes the way of Frank Raffle, recovering after his lap 1 shenanigans, and that is Matt Nicol-Jones celebrating yet another win. To confirm those results then, MNJ victorious, Spencer McCarthy second, half a second between them. Rob Austin with a problem drops to third, Linton Stootley fourth ahead of Elliott, and Richard Austin in sixth.
These cars, it's so much easier to follow than it is to lead, and the slipstream's worth so much. And yeah, it was all going nicely to plan. I went for it on the last lap, and halfway around the wheel bearing just gave up. I mean, I came down the back straight with sparks coming out of the front left.
You know, we got next to each other going around the back there somewhere, and I made a signal to him, he made a signal to me, just to say, right, let's just work together, because we knew Matt was going to come at some point. Yeah, sure enough, like 3 laps towards the end, Matt, I just started looming up in the mirrors, and I was just like, come on, Rob, keep it together. But unfortunately, he had a wheel bearing go, it looks like, sparks, flames coming out of the car. So basically, you know, that kind of hindered both of us really, because I had to go around the outside of him. Matt was right on us then, got us going into the last chicane, and I didn't know it was the last lap. The board was probably held out to number 4 rather than number sort of 1, so unfortunately, yeah, Matt pipped me.
Wow. I still feel like I'm at the beginning of that race. That was great fun. Didn't make it easy all the way through. I think there's 31 or 32 cars. That was my aim, and I didn't really want to tell anyone. Didn't want to tell anyone I was going to do it, but that was my challenge. I gotta go.
Michael Jones stepped onto the podium, something he's been very familiar with all season. And Lawrence Tomlinson, the new owner of Ginetta, was there to make the presentation to the race winner. The Sunday evening race then put Matt Nicol-Jones onto pole position, and he was looking to try to do the double in terms of race wins here at the fast Thruxton circuit. And there was still a pretty big crowd on hand at the end of the day to watch the action, as Nicol-Jones got the best start of anybody, and he got the drop on the run down towards Allard, although Ben Elliott was away quickly as well. James Littlejohn involved in the heat of battle. He was going well until, coming through the complex, suddenly it all went wrong. No gears, no drive, no finish. James Littlejohn had impressed in race 1, but would soon be out of race 2. Up front, Ben Elliott had managed to get himself ahead of Matt Nicol-Jones. That was good for Elliott within the championship. He was still fighting ladders for 2nd overall. Meantime, Linton Stootley put a move on Joe Osborne, and that put the Formula Ford star ahead of the ex-Formula BMW racer. The Swede, Dan Van Rosen, was getting it all wrong at the chicane. He got the left-hand drive car back in the right direction and carried on as Matt Nicol-Jones scored the win, Christian Dick 2nd and Spencer McCarthy 3rd. Ben Elliott finished 4th, and that was enough to give him 2nd in the championship ahead of Daniel Ladderman. Christian Dick 4th, Joe Osborne 5th, and Spencer McCarthy 6th at the end of the year ahead of Moden and Raffle. But there was no argument about the champion. That was Matt Nicol-Jones. The top 3 in the championship celebrating on the podium at the end of a superb season of Ginetta racing.